Cool. All right. What's up, Millionaire Recruiter Club? Hope everybody is doing well. I am super, super excited to be doing this here with my boy Adam, who is on the call. This is an interview of Adam to really just kind of for Adam to share his experience and his success working in the Millionaire Recruiter Mastermind, working with us and our strategies. And so, just very grateful that he's willing to do this. He's still working his 9 to 5, so we're in a little bit incognito mode. That's why we're screening so heavily for people to have access to this testimonial until he ultimately exits his 9 to 5. But nevertheless, very grateful that he's willing to share this, and looking forward to sharing more testimonials from other folks that are also winning within our group. But Adam, welcome. Thanks so much for taking the time to chat.
Yeah, no, thanks, Pat. It's been yeah, so I guess I'll just get right into it. It's been like I think we met at the very beginning of November. And since then I've been pretty much all in stealth mode. And so that's 6 months from about 6 months from today. I think most people know like the first month was pretty much pure ramp up. And then I actually had like at the beginning kind of all my eggs in one basket on one domain, and I was intentionally sort of pushing the limits on that domain to see what would happen. And so I like hosed my business development pipeline for 2 months straight. After that, I went from booking like 3 calls a week to booking no calls for literally 2 months straight. And it took me a little while to get it back rolling, but now, we've integrated, a much more fault tolerant business development setup. So we pretty much completely avoid that issue that I had. And it was good for me because at least I hit that road bump before I quit my job and had that epiphany. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I think I've made about 6 total placements so far in the
Okay.
past 4 months. Total billings of about 85K. So everything else this year is going to be pure distribution for me. So I'm excited about that.
That's outstanding. Yeah. So I remember when we first met, and then you had those issues, and then we got you back on track. And so you were down for about, of those 6 months, you were down for about 3 months total. Is that right? So three
Yeah,
months active, 3 months down, and then within the 3 months that you're active, you basically built 85K.
yeah, and I don't want to give anyone the idea that it was just easy. It definitely took a lot of work, right? I was putting in 60-hour weeks for a while, but most of that was at my main job and this on the side. But yeah, I mean, I was super hesitant to like sign at first, right? I'm very intentional about where I put my money. I'm pretty good at investing, so just kind of dropping big lump sums is something I don't take lightly. So ponying up the money to join this was my first coaching program was a hard decision to me, but ultimately it ended up being one of my best investments. I think I've, right, like already 5x'd it or something within a few months. So yeah, that's
Awesome.
where we're at. Yeah.
Very, very cool. And so you've added a VA to your team as well. Is that right? When did you do that? Why did you do that? What have you yielded from that? If you could just kind of expand a little bit on that.
Yeah, so you actually helped me find my first VA, and I was just telling Corey this morning, like I got so lucky with Anna. She puts the team on her back, quite frankly. Um, like I just don't have the time to actively source anymore, and she just picks it up and runs with it. And so, I mean, God, she, like I said, she puts the team on her back, and I couldn't really do it without her. And so going forward, I want to, keep adding on BAs like that. And while staying lean, right? Like we talk about getting more juice out of the squeeze. And I would still want to stay lean and ideally have as much passive flow of candidates coming into them as possible. But yeah, so I guess that's kind of where my head's at with that. It was VA and LinkedIn Recruiter were the two first things I invested in once I got my first paycheck. And I think that was a great idea. I think um like right it's ultimately a business, and you need to run it like a business. You need to not just take those profits at first. You need to focus on creating longevity for yourself.
No doubt. Yeah, I know. I know when we started going down that road, and I was kind of helping you with the VA situation. It's yeah. getting lucky is one thing, but there is a strategy behind that. And so the way that we landed Anna was, really kind of an intentional process that we went through to kind of identify her and get her onboarded and producing quickly. So I'm super excited for you and that's worked out and looking to do more of that for you. So yeah, man, you've made 85K in the first 3 months. I feel pretty safe in saying that, most people, if they were to make 85K in the first 3 months, that they would be like, okay, peace out, 9 to 5 job, I'm ready to roll. You're definitely a more conservative player in terms of the folks that I've worked with in the past, which is awesome. But give us a little like sneak peek and flavor for what does that trajectory look like for you now that you have banked that 85K from where you're at currently to where you want to be, what your pipeline looks like to ultimately quit that 9 to 5 job, what you're looking to yield from that, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. I guess what drives me are my goals. My goals are relatively simple. I want to retire my girl and afford kids. I
Nice.
kind of took out a mortgage at the worst possible time to sort of consummate my love, acting out of emotion, and so that's why I have
All
to be
right.
cautious about quitting my job. But time's only helping me, and my goals are like, yeah, like I said, not that out of reach. So my short-term goal would be, quit my job within the next 3 or 4 months, and that's with like 1.5 years of personal expenses in the bank and 1 year of expenses in the business. And so that's comfortably transitioning out of a six-figure salary without touching any of the personal assets and positions in the process, other than kind of the upfront investment, which is already paid off. So pipeline, let's see. I actually booked some or signed somebody this morning. I had 3 calls on Friday and I went 3 for 3. So that felt good, I guess. Things are like ramped back up again. So more roles than I can fill, really, quite frankly.
Very,
So
very cool.
now I'm looking more to sift sift out and find the quality clients and the quality roles versus just kind of saying yes to everything, which is where I was at the beginning. But yeah, I think that's kind of what's needed to, hit my medium term goal, which is more like, 500K, retire my girl, raise a family. I don't really ever need to retire. I don't mind working, but at least long term goal, free me up to work on stuff I'm passionate about.
Totally. Absolutely. And I think, we talk about this all the time, especially for new folks that come in. Your immediate goal when you're pre-revenue is to cash flow. And so to be open to working almost everything with some strategic assessment on, what's actually not going to waste your time and what isn't. Um, you know, with that in mind, but once you get to a stable place of strength in terms of cash flow, which is where you're at now, then we begin to really dial in that strategy and focus on areas that will allow you to continue to grow your revenue stream while also injecting some stability and consistency in what you're billing there. So that's awesome. So kind of transitioning, what has been kind of the juice, the value that you've gotten, your favorite parts that you think have contributed to your already the success that you've already uh, reaped from the program, from the mentorship? What are the things that you think have helped you the most through that?
Yeah, like I said, I was really hesitant to just kind of sign up for a coaching program, but ultimately it was a really good investment. I was kind of sifting. I maybe like was trying things here and there. I didn't really fully commit to recruiting until I signed up for the coaching program. Um, but it just cut through all the BS. It cut through probably a couple of years of trial and error.
Yeah,
And time is really important, at least to me, right? Probably the most important most important thing
totally.
at the end of the day. I'm really excited for what's coming down the pipeline. The like we're adding, new expert coaches every day, it seems like. And my goal for 2023 was to like really master internet marketing. And because I have the base skill. I'm a software engineer, so I can just like poop out websites and stuff like it's nothing, and show brands and stuff like that. So marketing is really what I think is going to take me to the next level, and that's ultimately like the core of what we're doing, right? Is marketing both to clients and candidates.
Totally. Absolutely. That's awesome. Okay. And final question: what piece of advice or what tips or that would you give to anybody considering either starting their agency or coming into our group? What would you tell them?
Yeah, the two tips I have, it's kind of funny, like actually all of my placements have been with the taboo industries. I went with what I'm comfortable with. I know software engineering, so it's easy for me to sell to software people. And so I wasn't afraid to kind of approach that and to do that, and it worked out for me. So that's one tip. Oh man, I think what was my other tip? Let me see here. I wrote it down somewhere. Um, oh yeah, just reinvesting at the beginning. Once you get your first placement, you need to set yourself up for success. And like I said, the first things I invested in was a virtual assistant and something like LinkedIn Recruiter to get me going. And that has paid its way already. So everything, like I said, from here on out is profit, I think, because of those decisions. So yeah, those would be my two top tips. Don't be afraid to do with what you're comfortable with, and yeah, reinvest back into the business.
Very cool. All right, man. I very much appreciate you taking the time to do this, and obviously look forward to continue to work with you and help you achieve the goals that you've already set out beyond. But yeah, thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you later.